in View, a production of the Aurora University Communication Program. We bring you the people and events of the Aurora University community. I'm Christina.
And I'm Loretta, and we'll be your hosts for this episode. Today we will be talking to Anwar and Sam, students at Aurora University, who are the leads in AU's production of A Midsummer Night's Dream, as well as talking with Sarah and Lauren from AU's softball team. We also have a special segment today, Beyond the Caf, where we'll be giving you some ideas of some foods that you can make in your own dorm rooms. But first, let's go over the latest news.
This Wednesday at 6 p.m. in Crimi Auditorium, there will be a human trafficking seminar. The Aurora Criminal Justice Association and the Wackerland Center for Faith and Action will host a discussion featuring panelists from anti-human trafficking organizations and the Cook County State's Attorney Human Trafficking Initiative Unit, as well as trafficking victim survivors. This free event is open to the public. Reservations are not required, but seating is limited. Groups are welcome.
Throughout this week, as well, the Aurora University Criminal Justice Organization will be taking donations for their blessing bags. Donations for the homeless can include anything from socks to a toothbrush to non-perishable foods. A complete list of needed items can be found on the ACJA Spartan Net. The Veterans Military Association is also taking donations to make care packages for deployed military personnel. Donations for both the blessing bags and the care packages can be dropped off in the designated boxes in the Spartan Spot, Dunham Atrium, and the cafeteria.
Graduation is just around the corner, and the seniors who are looking into graduate school, AU is hosting a graduate program open house this Thursday, April 10th at 6 p.m. in Crimi Auditorium. Graduate faculty, admissions representative, and financial aid counselors will be available to answer your questions. If you want to register for this event, you can do so by emailing auadmissions@aurora.edu or calling 630-844-5294 or even registering online.
Each semester, the Aurora University Theater Program puts on a production. This semester, they are doing Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream. This comedy fantasy is considered one of Shakespeare's most popular works. The AU production will add modern twists to the classic tale of love, lust, and misunderstandings. After a successful opening weekend, you can still see this comedy on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights at 7:30 in Perry Theater. Today from the show, we have Anwar and Sam, two of the actors from the show.
Hi guys, welcome to our show. I heard you had a wonderful opening night. So tell me what the show's about.
Well, Midsummer Night's Dream is a fantasy comedy. It deals with a variety of mortals and fairies, and the mortals are dealing with issues in their love life, and the fairies are causing more problems in their love life.
Essentially, it follows the story of these two lovers. They want to, the father's unhappy with the marriage or with their relationship, and he does not want his daughter marrying one of the gentlemen, Demetrius, or Lysander. He would prefer that she marry Demetrius. However, she's not in love with Demetrius. Instead, Helena is in love with Demetrius. It's this crazy love square triangle thing, and essentially the two lovers, Hermia and Lysander, end up eloping, and it just causes havoc because they run into the forest and now they're lost in the forest. And they end up getting involved with fairies and in essentially a goblin, I guess is what you would call him, or a puck. And Puck tries to right the wrongs, but instead ends up making things go very awry. So
that sounds really interesting. What was your favorite part about being in the show?
I would have to say my favorite part was learning to handle the language, because it was really difficult at first. You know, you get the script and you go through the readings, and you're tongue-tied. You can't actually get the words out, but like you learn to translate the words properly and you learn what you're saying, and it takes on a whole new world.
For me, it was the physicality of making the words feeling them in your body, and really kind of embodying the language more than anything else.
All right, what roles do you two play in this play this year?
Well, I'm Hermia, and
I'm Lysander.
Oh, wow. All right. So I did see the set, and it's incredible. Did you guys build that?
I helped. I actually, myself and Emily Karnick took care of some of the trees and wrapping them, as well as Trey. He helped. There were also a variety of other people who helped build the set, but it was a lot of fun, especially getting up on ladders with scissors and things like that, and gluing things together. So.
It sounds like a good way to get to know your castmates as well and just kind of know who they are and work with them. What are some modern twists that you've put to the show?
Well, the show takes place in the early 60s. So there's music that comes directly from the 60s. Every song actually is from the period of about 1961. It's an interesting concept because it's like we have contemporary ideas put into the production, but it's still the same, Shakespeare. Costuming wise, it's obviously 60s, late 50s, early 60s. Yeah.
Is this your first AU production, or how many have you been in?
I was previously a soldier in Trojan Women, and I was in the most recent student production, All in the Timing.
Myself, I was in, last year I was in both Tartuffe and The Shining Lives, and this year I was in Trojan Women, and I was one of the student directors for the student production, and I'm now playing Hermia in this production.
All right, so you're both veterans. It's great to see that. I love seeing students involved and things like that. I know many people have the idea Shakespeare is boring. Were you two fans of the school putting on a Shakespeare play this year?
Definitely.
Yeah. When I found out we were doing it, I texted Sam like, yes.
That's awesome. What would be the most challenging thing about acting in this show and then any other shows that you guys have done?
It's a process. It definitely, you have to give it time because everything builds. Mainly because when you have, especially with the language with the show, it was more difficult to get off script right away. So you still, because there's a rhythm to it and there's rhyming couplets and things like that. But after a while, you kind of start to feel it, but it takes a while to get there, and sometimes that can be really frustrating because you just want to jump in and you want to try all these things, but the language kind of holds you back.
Yeah, and with this show in particular, we were doing the student production and Midsummer at the exact same time, so it was even harder to fully get your mind into Shakespeare. And then when we did, we only had about 4 weeks until we actually put the production in front of the public, and it was very difficult.
Oh wow! I don't know how you guys would remember all that in just 4 weeks. That's awesome. What would you say you expect for the next shows coming up? Anything different from opening weekend, or just kind of the same thing?
You always worry that it's going to be a lot less energetic in the next week, but I don't know. I feel like we had such a good weekend that there's going to be excitement on campus, and people are going to tell people about it, and so we're going to have a really energetic week.
Okay, well, thank you so much for being on the show with us today. I hope you guys both break a leg.
Yeah, well, definitely. I'll see the show again. Good job. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
So today we have a special segment here on AU in View. It's called Beyond the Caf, and we'll turn it over to our hosts and see what they've cooked for us today.
Thanks, guys. Welcome to another episode of Beyond the Caf. Here at Beyond the Caf, we provide you with a number of recipes that can be simply made in your dorm rooms. I'm Trey.
And I'm Adrian, and on tonight's episode, we're going to be making homemade sweet potato chips. Now, I know this might sound a little, difficult to do on campus or in your dorm, but we got a tip for you. So first, we're going to take our sweet potato. Now, a few tips when you're looking for sweet potatoes in the grocery store. Just so you're aware, they're usually in season around November, December. And also, when you're choosing your sweet potato, you want to check the firmness. Make sure it's firm and it doesn't have any cracks or any soft areas. And then when you get home, you want to store it in a cool, dark area, but preferably not the fridge. Actually, putting it in the fridge can alter the taste of the sweet potato. So maybe under a cabinet or something would be preferable.
Okay, good.
So we already washed this sweet potato, so I'm going to hand this over to Trey, and we're going to cut this up. We have here today a mandolin. This is really nice because you're able to cut all the sweet potatoes in the same exact kind of thinness. But if you don't have one of these, you can go ahead and use a knife and a cutting board. So go ahead and Trey and slice some of those up. You can go and take that off, yep. And
You don't like realize it until you're actually.
there we go. All right. Now, we actually didn't take the skin off of the sweet potato because I personally bought an organic sweet potato. If you did not get an organic sweet potato, we would highly recommend to peel the skin off.
Like that, yeah.
All right. Just to get
Tell
a
me when
few
to
in
stop.
there, yep. And also, to prevent the darkening of the sweet potato after you cut it, you can put it in a bowl of water or simply just cook it right then and there, which we will be doing. All right, Trey, I think that's a good amount there.
Okay.
All right, excellent. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take some parchment paper and we're gonna roll it out here. It's probably good.
Awesome.
Ooh, there we go.
Thank you.
And we will also need scissors because this is in a kind of a rectangle square shape and the tray in the microwave is circular. It might get caught in the corners. So Trey, here's some scissors. If you could just snip off the corners real quick. Don't cut your fingers. Good. All right. Because if you put this right away in the microwave as is, it might get caught and then your sweet potatoes might be flying all over in the microwave. So to prevent that, we'll just snip off the edges right there. All right, excellent.
All right.
Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the sweet potatoes, clean up after ourselves real quick. Take the sweet potatoes and just go ahead and start laying them on there. Very good.
So she's good.
Just take a few. Yes. All right. Looks
We have a
good.
little
Kind of looks like a
left over.
pizza.
All right, that
All
should
right,
be
that's good. Now we're gonna spray it with some canola oil.
Okay.
Very good. And then I personally like to season it with some salt. The salt actually brings out more of the sweetness flavor to the sweet potatoes. So
Okay.
go ahead and you're gonna wanna open that little
Whoops.
hole. Right.
What did
All
I
right, thanks.
And crack away.
That was absolutely fabulous what I just said.
All right. Awesome. All right, now we're going to put this in the microwave for about 4 minutes, but I
Okay.
do want to warn you to watch the sweet potatoes because they do tend to burn fairly quickly. So I would highly suggest to be right in front of the microwave watching it and watching it crisp up. All right, and we have some ready here. And as you can see, these are a little smaller, but they're nice and crisp. You want to let them cool for a little bit to get that crispy taste. So go ahead and
That's
Trey,
awesome. All right.
taste them. Oh, I hear a crunch. That's a good thing. Sometimes if you don't cook them all the way, they get a little soft, but I hear a crunch, so it's a good thing. Should I try? Okay.
Good. Wonderful.
All right, guys. Go ahead and try the recipe out, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys.
That looks delicious, guys. Thanks. Now that it's finally starting to feel like spring, AU softball season is in full swing. Here today we have Sarah and Lauren from the softball team to tell us a little about how their season's going. Hi guys, welcome onto our show.
How you guys doing?
Pretty good.
Yeah. So what positions do you guys play in softball?
I'm an infielder. And I like the grass, so I'm out in left field. Yeah.
How long have you guys been playing softball?
I've been playing softball since I was very young, but this is my 4th year at Aurora. And
Yeah.
Last season.
I started off baseball as a little kid and then transferred to softball, but at AU I'm only a sophomore and I played my freshman year and now I'm playing my sophomore year.
Okay, so you guys were both here last year. So what are some differences between last year and this year?
I would have to say team chemistry so far, because last year we had a lot more upperclassmen that I think had those bonds together, and so this year we're rebuilding, but so far we've been doing pretty good together.
We're finally starting to gel as a team, whereas last year we gelled right away because we had played previously with them, so it was much easier to just go right into things, where this year we had to learn new names, we had to learn new people's abilities and strengths and weaknesses and everything, and now I think we finally have gotten to that point and we're ready to move on.
All right, I know over spring break softball takes a trip and you guys go down to Florida. How how's that go?
Well, I've done this for the past 4 years. We typically play about 8 to 10 games down there, and we leave on a Friday or Saturday and come back on the following Friday, Saturday, and we play teams that are more so in our region, so that if we don't make it to conference like we did last year, where we didn't win conference tournament, we had the at-large bid, which means if we beat teams that were in our region, we get an at-large bid, which means we get into the regionals.
And that's what happened last year. So it was pretty exciting.
So those games are crucial in Florida.
I bet it was really nice to be down there during that time
and the
period.
snowstorm that we had here. That was pretty nice.
very
It's definitely a change of pace. So what does your season look like since, you've been back from Florida? Because I know you guys have had some games.
We're 10-8.
Yes.
So that's very positive.
We had a rocky start. We didn't do as well as we usually do in Florida, but
We moved past it.
We moved past it and
got our stuff together.
Yes, exactly.
All right, I know AU usually has a big rivalry with BU and things like that. Is that the same for you guys, or is there a team that you look out for?
No, it's BU.
BU's definitely, and we actually play them tomorrow, so all the support we can get.
It'd
Go
be
to
great.
BU at 3. And it's at BU, so even better if we beat them both.
Looking to get 2 wins out of those.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's definitely exciting. Do a lot of AU school go to your games when they're home? Because I know we don't have a field here, but it's fairly close, right?
We have a good turnout.
I'd say so.
I know a lot of my friends come out and support me and the team. They just love watching, and we have a lot of family. A lot of the families make a trip to the field, which is right down the street from the school, so it's not far.
I think our fans are pretty dedicated. We were just up in Wisconsin, and we had families come drive all of the 3.5 hours. So that's pretty. I like it. Support us.
Yes.
Yeah, I know practices are always hard. I know I've heard talks about 5 a.m. practices sometimes.
And those could be rough.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what do practices usually go on? Are they always at 5 a.m.? Do they differ throughout the day?
It depends on if we're able to get to our field. Today was the first day we practiced on our field because it hasn't been playable or able to practice on. So we have been in the gym prior to that, and it has been at 5:30, but you get used to them after a while.
Yeah, and it's pretty unique. Like we practice, like our team is like split up at times, which I like it because the gym is like
it's very compact.
Yeah, and so like you get more reps when we split up and stuff.
Yeah, the morning practices are definitely rough. We do that for tracks, so I feel
Yeah.
You get it over with, but it's rough.
Yep.
What are some personal improvements, personal or as a team, that you guys are looking to make this year?
I mean, our overall main goal of the year is to win conference and do well in conference. And right now we're 4-0 in the NAC, so we're striving to keep doing well and keep going undefeated. So
being number one.
And being number one, yeah. So if we can do that, that'd be still great.
I really like that. Like teams, our coach has said that teams want to play us, and I like having that. It's like there's a target on our back, and people want to get that booze out of us, but we just keep winning.
All right, what about recruiting? Do you know Coach goes far for recruiting? Does he stay local?
He does some far. We have a few players from California. We have people from around here. We have people right down the street from us. So he does his fair share of recruiting and goes around the states.
Yep.
All right, well, thank you so much for coming on here,
Thank you for
guys, and
having
the
us.
best of luck to the rest of your season.
Thank you.
Now, before we go, we're going to go view a rundown of all the exciting things coming up here at AU.
For those seniors graduating, don't forget to pick up your cap and gown on Wednesday in the Institute lobby.
This Friday is the Spring Honors Convocation. No classes will be held after 1.
Next Monday the 14th and Tuesday the 15th will be the Undergraduate Research Conference in UBH from 8 a.m. until 6 p.m.
Some sporting events to look out for are men's lacrosse plays the 9th and women's lacrosse will play on the 11th.
Softball and baseball have games on the 9th, 10th, 12th, and 13th. There are also track meets as well on the 11th and the 12th.
That's all the time that we have today. Thank you for joining us for AU in View. We'll see you next time.